right. Okay, we're recording. And this is part 2 of the PERT tutoring for graduation requirements. So let's get this party started. We are going to begin with number 6. The directions here are to factor completely. You could, if you got stuck, you could take all of these options and FOIL them if you wanted to, or distribute. But I'm going to actually do the problem here. All right, so we have x squared minus x minus 6. So if you recall what we talked about earlier, or on the last part, I should say, so ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are all constants or numbers. So the first thing we want to do here is we want to identify our a, b, and c. So a is the number in front of x squared. There's nothing that we see there, so a is actually 1. B is the number in front of x, and be careful with this. This is actually going to be a -1. And then our C is equal to -6. Okay, right away when A is 1, we can go ahead and we can go bloop, 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 bloop. And I'm going to go ahead and put an X here and an X here. Now what we're doing is we are looking for factors of A times C. So A times C is just going to be -6. So we're looking for factors of -6 that give us the sum of B, which is -1. Well, that's a rough looking table, but that's okay. So for this, I'm just going to start, let's say, with 1 and 6. Okay, we know 1 times 6, and remember, one of them is going to be negative here. That will get 6, but there's no way that we're going to get a -1. So I'm going to move on. Now I'll go to the number 2. Well, 2 times 3 gives us 6. Now, again, because this is negative, we know one of these numbers is going to be negative. When we combine them by adding or subtracting, we get a -1. So if you think about your rules, you always keep the sign of the bigger number when you add or subtract. So our 3 is going to be negative. That right there is our money. So you're going to go right back up here and do a, I'll say +2, and then this is a -3. So our answer is, oh, look at that, it was A. Nope, it's not A. Oh, look what they try to do to you here. Be careful. Don't fall for that trick. C is going to be our answer. And they could have written this x minus 3 times x plus 2. It means the same thing as this. So it's okay to switch the order like that. All right, we're going to move on. Number 7. Okay, before we do number 7, actually, I'm going to make up a problem. So bear with me here. If I have, let's say, oh, whoa, that's an ugly, goodness, that is not what we want. I hope this thing doesn't start going crazy on us. Oh no, done. All right, you need to behave, stylus. All right, let's try this again. So let's say I have 3x squared y to the 3rd times 5x cubed y. Okay, all this is multiplication. The first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to multiply our 3 and our 5. When we do that, we're going to get 15. Now I'm going to look here at the x's and here at these x's. Now x squared, or x to the 2nd, what that means is x times x. What this means is x times x times x. How many total x's do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5, so we get x to the 5th. Okay, now you can do it this long way if you want to, or you can just know the rules. The rules are you keep the base and add the exponents. Okay, so we're going to keep our x, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. Now if we look here at the y's, okay, we have y to the 3rd, and this right here is y to the 1st. They're not going to write that little 1. So in total, we have 3 here and 1 here. We're going to keep our base and add the exponents. 3 plus 1 is 4. And that right there is our answer. Okay, now you may see it looking another way, like, let's see, get a different color here. If I do, let's say 2x to the 3rd, y to the 2nd squared times negative 4 x to the, you know what I'm going to do actually? Hold on, I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to make this cubed. Oh, oopsie. Here we go. All right, I'm going to make this cubed. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. So negative 4x, let's say to the 5th, y to the 2nd. I'll throw in a z. Why not? Okay. Now remember, PEMDAS never goes away, okay? So the first thing we want to do, well, there's nothing we can do inside either one of these parentheses. So the next thing is exponents. What we want to do, okay, is you want to take this exponent and distribute it to everything inside the parentheses. The first thing we're going to do is bloop, distribute that baby right here. So now what we have is 2 to the 3rd power. This does not equal 6, okay? This does not mean 2 times 3. This is saying 2 times 2 times 2. All right, and of course 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm gonna get rid of all of this. There we go. So 2 to the 3rd power is equal to 8. Now we are going to take this and distribute it here. Remember before when we had, I'm going to scroll up, okay, and we had this going on, okay, x squared times x to the 3rd. Okay, that meant x times x times x times x times x. Remember here we kept the base and we added the exponent. Notice here, this looks a little different. Instead of adding the exponents, we are going to multiply the exponents. Okay, so here you keep the base and add the exponents. When it looks like this and your exponent is on the outside of the parentheses, you are going to multiply your exponents. So we are now going to have here x, we're going to rewrite, and then 3 times 3 is 9. And then here we're going to do the same thing with this little 2. So we're going to get y, and 2 times 3 is 6. All right, and now I'm just going to rewrite this, y squared z. Okay, wow, we're doing a good job here. Now what we have is 8 times negative 4 is going to be a negative 32. Okay, now we're going to look here. We got x to the 9th, x to the 5th. This is when you keep your base and add the exponents. 9 plus 5 is 14. Now we're going to look here. We have y to the 6th and y to the 2nd. So we're going to have y to the 8th. Keep the base, add the exponents. And then we have this little z bloop, that we're just going to rewrite. And this right here whoop, is our answer. So these problems look really crazy, but they're not bad at all. Just remember, if the exponent's on the outside of the parentheses like that, you have to distribute it to everything, and that's when you multiply the exponents. Here, like for instance, we'll just look at the y's, y to the 6th, y to the 2nd. Keep the base, add the exponents. All right, now let's talk about division. We're getting a whole lesson here and really fast. Okay, let's say I have 21 x to the third, y to the fourth. I don't want to do y to the fourth. Hold on. Sorry about that. Oh, all right. Let's just start over. 21. Oh, no. Now we're doing this again. Yikes. Okay. Start over. Easy pen. We're going to do 21 x to the third, y to the, I should say y, all over 3, x to the second, y to the fourth. Okay, this is division. So the first thing we're going to do here is look at our numbers. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And I'm going to go ahead and do one of these. Oh, that's a rough line, but that's okay. We can deal with it. Here, when we look at our x's, okay, what this means is x times x times x in the numerator. And then we have x times x in the denominator. Okay, x to the third, whoosh, x to the second. Whoosh. If we had just this kicking, we would go like this. Bloop. Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. Okay. We would go, all right, that cancels, that cancels. What are we left with? 1x, and it's on the top. Okay. Now we're going to look here at the y's. This is showing 1y on the top and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. Notice something here. We are left with 3 y's in the denominator, so y to the third. Now, do you have to write this out like this? Absolutely not. If you look at what we do here, 3 minus 2 is 1, and you write your answer where the larger exponent is. Here, remember, there's a 1 there that we don't see. 4 minus 1 is 3, and you write your answer where the larger exponent is. So, wow, I made this line way too long, but this is it. So all that you do here is subtract. Keep the base, subtract the exponents, and write your answer where the larger exponent is. Let's try another one of these. Okay, extend. Let's do, let's see here. Okay, let's do, I don't know, we'll do 3. I don't know why I just made that so long, but that's okay. 3, and I keep using x. I don't know, why not? 5th y squared, and I'm going to do 15 x to the second, y to the 5th. Okay, I know what I'm going to do now. Z to the negative third power. We're going to talk about that right now. And then on the bottom, or in the denominator, I'll say z squared. Okay, do not let this scare you. It's a lot easier than it looks, I promise. And I will give you some time to write that down. I hope you are pausing if you need more time. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so first we're going to look at our coefficients, our numbers, okay? We are just going to simplify this. A lot of people will see this and then they will say -5 and they'll do this. That's not correct. That would be if the 15 was on the numerator. It's not. Okay, all that we're going to do now is just, a lot of people say reduce, but we're just going to simplify. I'm going to write this down here. I know that I can divide this by 3 over 3. Okay, on the numerator, we're going to get 1, and in the denominator, we're going to get 5. So let me get rid of this. That was kind of tricky. And it is negative, so we are going to, ooh, what's that? Get out of here. So I'm going to do a here we go. Sorry about that. We're going to do a negative 1 over 5. Now remember, in your answer, you're not going to see that 1 because we're going to have some variables in there. But for now, I'm going to write it. Okay, so all that we did was simplify fraction. And now we're going to look here at our x's. All right, we have 5 on the top, 2 on the bottom. We're going to subtract 5 minus 2 is 3, and we're going to write our answer on the top because that's where the larger exponent is. So x to the third. Here, oh look, I have the same numbers. We have 5 on the bottom, 2 on the top. We're going to subtract 5 minus 2 is 3, And we're going to write our answer in the denominator because that's where the larger exponent is. Now, here is where something we need to talk about. Okay, you are not allowed to have negative exponents. When you have negative exponents, in this case, they are on the top. So to make them positive, we've got to bring it down to the bottom. So this is now going to be a z to the third in the denominator. That's what will make it positive. Okay, if we have, side note here, I'm just going to put a 3 as a placeholder, and I have x squared, and then on the bottom I had x to the negative third. Guess what? Can't have it here. We would have to bring this up to the top, and we would get 3x squared times x to the third to make it positive. And then I'm not going to put that over 1 because we don't need to. I'll do a problem where I talk about that. But sorry, now I'm doing a whole nother problem, but let's just look here for a second. I can't leave it like this, okay? I now would have to say 3. All right, ooh, why does it keep doing this? Goodness gracious. Yikes. Here we go. I'm pushing a button or something. Here, to simplify this, we're going to have keep the base, add the exponent, so it'd be 3x to the 5th. Okay. So let me get rid of this problem that I just made up, and let's go back to our z's up here. And we have we brought this guy down to the bottom, so we now have z squared, z to the third, keep the base, add the exponents. 2 plus 3 is 5. So for your answer for this, that's a decent circle. It would actually be negative x to the third over 5y to the third z to the 5th. That's what the answer would look like. Negative sign would be out here actually, but same thing. All right. Finally, after all of that, we're going to go back to number 7. But now we're ready to do it, right? So simplify the following expressions. So 3x to the 4th, y to the 2nd. Again, I always rewrite. Oh, I like this one. So the 3, it's just going to stay. That's an ugly 3. Here, okay, we have 4 x's on the top, 1 on the bottom. We subtract, okay? 4 minus 1 is 3. And we're going to write our answer where the larger exponent was. Here, now this is interesting. We have 2 minus 2. Well, 2 minus 2 is just 0. Actually, this is just going to cancel out. So our answer is 3x to the third. It is going to be A. That's kind of an easy one. I like it. All right, moving on. Number 8, okay, which of the following is equivalent to the expression blah, blah, blah? All right, so we are multiplying here 3ab times negative 5ab. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply our coefficients, our numbers. So we have 3 times negative 5. Here's the deal. When you multiply or divide, okay, same signs, your answer is positive. Different signs, your answer is negative. In this case, our signs are different. So our answer is negative. And 3 times 5 is 15. All right, now we're going to look here. So this is saying a to the first times a to the first. Remember here, you're going to keep the base and add the exponents. Okay. Same thing here. We got 1b and 1b. So total, we have b squared. Keep the base, add the exponents. Our answer is D. That was an easy one, I think. I like that one. All right, we're going to move on to number 9. Now, this is a good one. I mean, an easy one, actually. What I would do in this case is I would count, saying what percent of the grid is shaded. Well, let's see. First of all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 here, this is probably a 10 by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 here. Okay, so this is a 10 by 10. There is a total of 100 squares. Now, if we look at the shaded part, I'm going to count like this. Let me just switch colors here. Green's cool. All right, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a total of 45 shaded. And now it is saying which percent of the grid is shaded. Well, percentage, this is 45 out of 100. Our answer is going to be C, 45%. Now, this one was a little too easy, so I took the liberty of adding another problem. I called it 9B. So that was 9A, now this is 9B. So we're going to say the same, oh, Miss Crapno for her party, that was fun. We're going to be asking the same question here, copy. Let me just do a new one. Paste. Okay. I'm going to ask the same question. What percent of the circle is shaded? Voila. That is huge. Let me just shrink it. Okay, what percent of the circle is shaded? So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count all the pieces. We have 1, 2, 3. Well, we have 3 shaded pieces. I'm going to count all the pieces. I fibbed. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. There are 8 pieces. 3 of those pieces are shaded. So we have 3 out of 8. It is asking us now what percent. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. Percentages are always out of 100. So you could do this. You could say 3 over 8 is equal to X out of 100. That's unknown. If you want to do it this way, which I actually like it this way, we're going to do what I like to call the butterfly effect. Now, a lot of students will start doing this butterfly effect that I'm about to do, and they'll do it when they have, I don't know, let's just say 2/3 times 6 over, I don't know, 7, right? When you're doing this, this is multiplication. This you need to do straight across. This would be 2 times 6 is 12 over 3 times 7, which is 21. Okay, wow, it's pretty rough numbers. And then I'm just going to keep going with this, whatever. I would simplify this. 3 goes into both. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So that would reduce to 4 sevenths, or simplify to 4 sevenths. Sorry, that was a little fast. Little fraction refresher. The whole point was that when you have a problem that looks like this is when you go straight across. When you multiply the numerators, then you multiply the denominators. Here, because there's an equal sign in between, this is when we do the butterfly. So moving on, back to business. Woo. Okay, so we have 3 out of 8 shaded, and we are going to set up a proportion that is equal to X over 100. Now, finally, I'm going to butterfly. Bloop. This is going to be 3 times 100, which is 300, equal to, oh goodness. Wow, no, Miss Condrat. Whoa, that looks crazy. Okay. Back again. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Ooh, finally, and we're going to get an 8x here. Now, to solve, this is 8 times x. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. Uh-oh. Before I start doing this, so this is saying 300 divided by 8. So I know you all like to do it this way, the long way, so I'm going to do it like this. So 300 divided by 8. By the way, something that will help you with this. is tie bow. And I use tie bow for a couple things, but tie bow means, oh goodness. I keep you know what's doing this is I'm clicking the button on here. I need to stop doing that. Okay, tie bow means top in, bottom out. So the top goes in, the bottom goes out. This is 300 divided by 8. All right, now let's get this party started. Goodness, and I'm writing all slanted. So 8 goes into 30. Let's see here. 3 times 8 is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. And 8 does not go into 6, so I'm going to have to bring down that 0. Okay, 8 goes into 67 times. 7 times 8 is 56. We're going to subtract, and we're going to get a 4. 8 does not go into 4, so what am I going to do? I'm going to add a 0. Okay, I'm going to add a 0, and I'm going to bring that 0 down. By the way, before I go adding a 0, I need to put a decimal here. Goodness, don't make that mistake. Okay, there we go. Got to put your decimal. And now I'm going to bring this baby down. Oh, man, we got colors here. All right, this looks pretty. 8 goes into 40 5 times. Now, be careful here. What we just found, actually, this is it. This is the percentage. The percentage is 37. Oh, goodness, that's an ugly 3. 37.5%. Okay, side note, if they asked for this as a decimal, okay, as a decimal, you would just take this guy here and you would go, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, that's an odd color. And you would just go bloop, bloop, 2 places to the left. And as a decimal, it would be 0.375. Okay, 0.375. Remember, this number is going to be less than 1. Or here, if you think about it, 37.5% is less than 100%. So, and you're going to see questions, you're going to see both questions like, okay, is it, or write it as a decimal or write it as a percentage. Whew, man, it's the end of the day, guys. I'm sorry. I'm starting to twist my words around. But the good news is we are almost done. We have one more problem. So the problem that is on your study guide, okay, that problem is tough. And to be honest with you, you're not going to see that for Grad Reqs. You don't need to know it. So I mean, you do need to know it. Don't get me wrong, but you're not going to necessarily see a problem that difficult. So I just switched the problem up and made my own. And, oh, I didn't put any directions on here. That's nice. What this problem is just solve for n. Okay, let me type some directions. Solve for n. Perfect. So, oh goodness, come on, baby. Solve for n. So I chose this problem because there is a fraction. And I know everyone gets scared of fractions. Guys, fractions are your friends, okay? When you have fraction, guys, the first thing you want to do is just get rid of it, okay? And to get rid of that fraction, you are going to multiply every single term by the least common denominator, okay? Now, in this case, we just have one fraction, so we're going to multiply every single term by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by 5, and notice where I put it up on the top here, because technically this means a 5 over 1, but I don't need that. Oh, oopsie. So I'm going to multiply this by 5. That's this term. I'm going to multiply this by 5, and I'm going to multiply this by 5. The beauty of this is what's going to happen here is those babies, bloop, are going to cancel. So here we're going to be left with 3m. Here, 5 times negative 4 is a negative 20. Here, 5 times 2 is 10. Now look at how pretty that is. Okay, now we're just going to solve. So the first thing I'm going to do, oh, I feel like I have to sneeze. Don't do it. Woo. The first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to cover this up and move this guy away from it. I want to move this to the other side. So it's negative 20. The opposite of that is positive 20. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that there. You're just going to pretend like I still have it hidden. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. We're going to bring this baby down. So we have 3m is equal to 30. Now what we're going to do, okay, this is 3 times m. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide this by 3, and we're going to divide this by 3. That goes away. We are left with m is equal to 3 goes into 30, 10 times. So our answer is, oh, goodness gracious, m is equal, oh, no, I did it again. Oopsie. Wow, not my day with this stylus. M is equal to 10. Okay, so guys, all that you have to do when you have a problem with the fraction, multiply every term by the denominator and clear your fraction. Now, on another note, if I want to check my work, I'm actually going to do this really quickly. Let me just, whoop. Announcements going on. I can't hear it in my office though. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 10 for m just to check. So I have 3 over 5. This means times 10 minus 4 is equal to 2. So whatever this is, we want it to be equal to 2. So let's see here. 3 times 10 is 30. And then don't forget about this guy here. So it's going to be 30 over 5 minus 4 is equal to 2. Okay, 30 divided by 5 is 6. Guys, is 6 minus 4 equal to 2? Yes, it is. Our answer is correct. Correct. All right, I'm just being silly with the pen there. I was going to try to do something fancy. Actually, there's one more thing that I want to show you guys. So, real quick, if I have, and I should have done this before, but that's okay, when we were talking about exponents. If I have a, I don't know, 2 to the negative third power, remember, we are not allowed to have negative exponents. Technically, this is a 2 over 1. Remember, any number can be written over 1. We just don't do that because it's a waste of time. So essentially, to get rid of this negative exponent, get out of here. To get rid of the negative exponent, we have to bring this to the denominator. So in the numerator, we're going to leave a 1 as a placeholder, and we're going to bring this down here. So 2 to the third power. Now we are not done. Okay, remember this is essentially equal to 1 over 2 times 2 times 2. I'm running out of space here. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So this is actually equal to, oh my goodness gracious, 1 over 8. Okay, 2 to the negative third is equal to 1 over 8. So you may or may not see something like that. All right, guys, happy studying. I'm so proud of you for watching this video. And if you were able to do these problems on your own without my help, you will earn that 97, that score that you need to meet your graduation requirement. I believe in all of you. You got this, okay? So happy studying, and I will see you soon. And we stop. Okay.